My mama told me that I was different the moment I was invented. It's strange, baby, no, I'm not ashamed. I recommend every inch of your...
Hey, the fuck? I remembered this time to turn on a lamp so the lighting doesn't look like crap. Yeah, my apologies for yesterday's videos. I like barely realized while editing that it happened and I was like, ugh. So, my bad. Y'all get crappy lighting for a bit. But that's not the case. Um, I also want to apologize beforehand before starting this review because it's going to be a much more depressing, a much more sad, a less uplifting review, which is going to be me um, talking about personal shit pretty much. And just having a little bit of a therapy session, I guess you could say. So, if you don't like talking about your feelings, or if you don't want to hear me talk about personal shit at some point in this review, or if you just don't want to feel all sad when you are already in a happy mood, do not watch this video. Alright then, with that being said, what is up, my fellow hip hop heads and music lovers in general? My name is G Vance and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Special Request Thursdays. Once again, to request each week or to request each video. I don't freaking know what I'm saying. I'm trying not to cuss so much because I realize that we are on YouTube and you gotta follow rules here. And also because I have a potty mouth, I'm trying to learn how to not cuss so much, I guess. So there you go. But yeah, two requests I got to review today for people who have been requesting me stuff. So let's get right to it. So the first album we're reviewing today is a little album or a little mixtape, I guess you could call it, called With Love. And it is by the one and only Phora. Um, okay. So, a brief history of, or like a brief history of me and Phora. Not that we know each other in real life, but just like of me personally dealing with his music. Um, so for those of you who don't know, if you were the ones to see the first ever song I uploaded on YouTube for the uh, too much song remix thing by Drake, um, then you would know that I had a very close friend of mine die when I was a senior in high school. His name was Manny. Um, I don't want to talk too much about it because then I'll start crying like a little biatch, I guess. Um, but pretty much, if you heard that song, you know about my friend Manny and how freaking amazing he was and how much I miss him, how much a lot of people miss him. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you uh, who watch my videos who knew at some point who Manny was, and you guys like probably feel the same as me, and to anyone else who lost somebody as great as Manny. So like you guys can relate to that. But yeah, at the time it was a very hard time. Before he died, me and Manny would have a lot of discussions. Back in high school, we would always like just pretty much introduce each other to new different kinds of music. I would introduce him to a few artists that he doesn't listen to, and he would introduce me to a lot of artists that I personally didn't listen to at all. Um, but yeah, he would do that a lot. We would just have a good time talking about hip hop and all that. Just talking about music, just enjoying each other's time, I guess. And one of the artists that he showed me was Phora. I think Phora might have been his favorite rapper, I guess. I know he was a real big fan of J Cole, so J Cole might be up there too. but I know for a fact he loved Phora. And Phora's music pretty much got that dude through a lot of hard times in his life. And with that, he learned to smile and to be there for other people. And that was the like good part about him. And now that it's been 2 years, it's been 2 years since he passed away, and I still find it hard to listen to any like new stuff that Phora comes out with. Although I made it my like goal and my like responsibility, I guess, to listen to every new Phora album that comes out for many, because he unfortunately isn't here anymore to listen to them. I don't know if there's an afterlife or not. I don't know if like he's even looking down at me right now. Um, but hope he's still able to listen to some dope Phora music. Um, but yeah, Phora is still a very like difficult artist for me to listen to because of that. Um, but besides me personally, another reason why Phora is somebody who is a very difficult person for me to listen to is because he talks about a lot of personal issues. Like, I'm not even lying. Every album, I swear, like every album that this dude makes gets like more and more like depressing than the last. Like, I have no idea why, but it's like a lot of stuff happens in this man's life, and a lot of stuff had happened in the past in this man's life, and like he just wants the world to know his pain. You write what you know, and if you feel sad, you're not gonna like hide it from your fans and pretend everything's okay. Like, if you're feeling sad, then by any means, you know, tell your fans about it. Tell everybody about it. You know. Once again, it's okay to not be okay sometimes, and that's something we all like. That's something that I still struggle with, and that's something that a lot of people still struggle with. So, you know, there's that. Um, but this album with love specifically is like, I think, is like, first of all, I would say is the start of him getting a lot more recognized. But it's also, if not his most depressing one yet. You see, around this time, he went through a bad fucking breakup, and it's you can really hear it in his expressions. Like him trying to get over it, him dealing with the loss of it. Keep in mind, imagine you being in a relationship for a very long time, not just 6 months. All right, for let's say maybe 4 or 3 years. Yeah, we'll say that. Now, imagine you feeling very happy with this person. Like, you finally found the one. This is the person you want to be with for the rest of your life. And then, you know, like every other relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's like a family member, whether it's a relationship with your significant other, you go through your ups and downs. You go through your arguments. You go through your fights. You go through your little, like, breaking up phases and then getting back together. But eventually, all these unfortunate circumstances and events that like happened with the relationship um, pretty much ends up in a breakup, in a permanent breakup, not a temporary break, a permanent. You will no longer be with this person ever again. You might still be on good terms as friends if you're lucky, but for most cases, you don't end up talking to this person ever again. And you think a lot about them. You lose sleep over them. But you also have this like feeling inside of you at the same time that this person has already forgotten about you, has already moved on, that they're like moving on with their life as anybody else should do. Life doesn't stop no matter what you're going through. But it takes a really, really brave person to move on with it. because sometimes we're not capable to handle the emotional and mental shit that life throws at you. So that's exactly what this album is. Pretty much a whole, like, I guess, a whole train ride. A whole roller coaster, not a train ride, sorry. A roller coaster of what you go through after a long term relationship. After breaking up from a long term relationship. And all the like mental issues you develop and just like how you start losing yourself along the way. Think of this album as you accidentally opening a diary. A diary of really, really like fucked up and depressing stuff that you were not supposed to read. It's very private, it's very real, and it's very concerning. And you're not supposed to read it. You weren't supposed to read it, you weren't supposed to find it. You open it up, you weren't supposed to like read everything that you are reading at right now. But at the same time, you can't stop reading because you're so emotionally like focused on this diary that you would just want to find out more and more. And at the end of reading the diary, and just at the end of listening to this album, you end up wondering to yourself, who hurt you? You see, Phora, it's no doubt that Phora has historically like been known to showing a lot of vulnerability in his music. You know, I haven't been that big of a fan. Um, I wouldn't say that I'm not a fan. I definitely am a fan of Phora, but not like as big of a fan as like I listened to the first mixtape. Like no. But if you have been a fan of Phora for a very very long time, like since the Still a Kid mixtape came out, then you would know that Phora hides nothing from his fans. That every fan knows everything about Phora because instead of bottling up inside and letting it consume you, he does the right thing. He writes about it. He releases it. It may be something you don't want to hear, and that's the sad truth about it. It's something you don't want to hear. It's something very, very vulnerable, about his insecurities and all that. Something very vulnerable and very personal that you don't want to hear. Nobody wants to hear about anybody having problems. You know, n- nobody likes hearing about problems and personal issues because, like, music is supposed to be like an scapegoat for any personal issues that you might be going through. But like I said earlier, you write what you know, and if a certain artist is feeling very very sad, and they are forced to bottle it all up inside because they have this platform where a lot of people depend on them, and because they fear that once they open up, they'll be seen as weak or as, I guess, well, yeah, just weak. That their fans will like not like them no more. You know, when they bottle up inside, you get situations like Mac Miller, for example. Seemed like a very happy guy, right? Then after his death, we all learn about it, like all the depression you were going through. That's an example right there. Robin Williams, happiest person on earth, right? Makes a lot of like kids laugh with his voices and everything. He was a comedian, entertainer. Suicide. You see where I'm getting at? So you write what you know, and Foro writes a lot what he knows. A lot of personal issues like, I guess, try not to get lost in the sin. That's something we can all relate to, right? Trying not to get lost in sin, trying not to go insane, trying not to lose yourself along the way with whatever it is you want to do with your life. You know, how there's a million people in the world, not even a million, freaking billion. There's a billion people in the world. A lot of people that you can like use as a coping mechanism for your pain or whatever. And no matter how much people there are in the world, you somehow can't stop thinking about one specific person. One specific person that makes you happy and that you want to be with for the rest of your life. But they unfortunately don't feel the same way. So you're stuck feeling this pain and this pain, so much pain because you can't see yourself with nobody else. That's the whole gist of Phora's album, With Love. Do we have some love songs in there? Of course. It kind of is a love album. But for the most part, when it comes about being a love album, it is mostly about the pain that you feel from it sometimes. Because some may argue that love is the only thing that doesn't hurt. Because if it doesn't work out, it's not love. And you know, at some points that may be true, but we can't deny that, you know, mentally it messes with your brain. It mentally fucks with you. Because what people gotta understand is that when you get out of a really long-term relationship, it's really hard to pick up the pieces after 4 years of what you thought was going to be the rest of your life, and what you would consider the best moments of your life. Because a lot of stuff is hard to handle on your own, and to have a significant other, it just helps it out just a little bit. Of course, with the right one. But like I said, after coming out of a 4-year relationship, I probably wouldn't be okay either. I'll be straight up with you guys. So, with that being said, that's pretty much it. So, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Follow me on Instagram down below. As always, DM me for requests. It can be anything. It can really, really be anything. Go ahead and follow Phora on Instagram down below. He is known to drop a lot of new albums every year, so, you know, there might be a chance you see Phora on this channel again. This album was requested by the homie Alejandro, so shout out to you, dude. Thank you for the request. Fuck you for making me fucking depressed right now. But thank you for the request, dude. Like, all jokes aside, thank you for the request. I know you've been wanting me to review Phora for a while now, and I have before. I have reviewed 2 Phora albums before, and they're on my Instagram though. But this is the first time I review him on my channel, so big things happening. And with that being said, that's pretty much it. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the second upload. And don't forget to stay happy.
When I speak, it's like y'all don't hear. Why I feel like God don't care. Why I feel like I ain't good as no one else. I'm searching, but my pride.